Here is the Surging Sparks ETB from the Pokemon Center. I was a little overzealous and already started opening the plastic packaging, only the outermost part though. So everything should be in here correctly because I realized my mistake as soon as I took off the plastic. So today, while unboxing this, I want to talk about World War I and the powder keg and how that actually went on for decades leading up to this event. Because a lot of times we think of it as something simple, like it was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which it kind of, more of the spark, no pun intended, but it wasn't that simple. Okay, so let's open this up, see what we got in here. Okay, so we have these coins that they put in everything and the dice, just like that. Then we have this. Card sleeves. We have the dividers in the promo, and then energy cards, I guess. But the big thing right here. Okay, so I'm gonna put the rest of this in here. Okay, so again, like you might know about, Franz Ferdinand. You might even remember that he was assassinated, and then further, you might remember that, oh yeah, the guy who did it, his name was Gavrilo Princip or whatever. And like, no shade to him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No shade to him. Okay, but it's the little details that we don't pay attention in school because it's not part of our story of World War I. I mean, to be fair, we were the closers. Like, this started in 1914. We didn't get in until 1917. So it really legitimately wasn't our thing, and all this little stuff leading up to it is kind of irrelevant. The thing is, though, in history, the most insightful pieces are normally really small and they don't seem important at the time. But what's actually happening is you have these little dominoes that are lining up. Okay, I'll take that. We have these little dominoes that are lining up, and at first they don't really matter. I mean, one domino by itself doesn't really matter, okay? But when they're all lined up together and then one falls and then we have this ripple effect, that's important because in history, that's going to travel time and space, and it becomes a bigger issue. So for context, okay, again, people talk about the powder keg. Like, you've heard that term before probably for World War I. But what actually was this stuff? Like, what was the gunpowder inside of that? People don't normally talk about that. Okay, nothing too good there. Let's put these at the top. Okay, so in the 1900s, or let's say by 1900 itself, okay, we had quite a few powerful regimes happening in Europe at this time. We have Germany, we have Austria-Hungary, we have the Ottomans, we have Russia, England, France, all these. And then in the 1800s, if we reverse just a little bit, in the 1800s, there was a fair amount of wars happening between these guys. I mean, there was, let me look at my notes, the Austro-Prussian War in 1866. Okay, looks nice. Not a double hit though. Okay. Then there's the Franco-Prussian War in 1871 and the Russo-Turkish War in 1877. Like, these guys were constantly just butting heads with each other. And again, as an American, we don't know these, we don't know these wars. We don't really honestly care about these wars because they're not related to us. We're not involved here. Okay, but the thing is about these wars, again, is that it's showing that, yeah, they're butting heads all the time. But the other thing is that because of these wars, they were building alliances with each other. That, hey, if I get dragged into this, I need you to get dragged into this as well. Nothing great. I think that's okay. I think that's an okay card right there. Okay, so also in the meantime, in the 1800s, you have Serbia, Bulgaria, Montenegro, and Greece, who had broken from the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire is like present-day Turkey, but it was way, way, way big. Okay, so during the 1800s, you have this kind of slide of the Ottomans. They were losing some of their stuff, and they were losing stuff specifically in the Balkans area, named after the Balkan Mountains. Also happening during this time is you have Russia trying to go eastward. Okay. There we go. So you have Russia trying to go eastward. And obviously, I mean, they did have Eastern Russia. But what they were trying to do was have a good port over there in the Pacific. And so they were going after Korea area. But then Japan was like, no. This is our backyard, please. Get out of here. And so then you have this war between them. I didn't write down the name. But they were kicked out, basically, of the Korea situation by the Japanese. And so then they were like, okay, we'll put our attention more towards... Yes. I haven't seen that one. Okay. Let's see. So then they put their attention more towards the Balkans, which again is an area in like Eastern Europe. Meanwhile, in 1905, so that Russian-Japanese situation happened in 1904. 1905, we have in Africa, the French and the Germans butting heads over Morocco, which is in the northwest part of Africa. And then you have Germany not minding their own business and going over to, you have King Wilhelm, Kaiser Wilhelm II. Going over, he literally sailed over to, nothing good. He literally sailed over to Morocco to show his support. But what was happening was that was a backfire because he was trying to put like a wedge between Germany and France. And what that did was it put them closer together because they were like, this German guy is not minding his own business. Like, so let's team up against him. Or at least let's be friends because this guy's not minding his own business. So then, this actually happens twice in Morocco. Again, Germany not minding their own business. And so what that does is it just makes their relationship stronger because, again, this German dude is not minding his own business. So then, fast forward a couple more years, and you have Austria-Hungary, which is, again, one of the major empires at this time, which is way bigger than just Austria and Hungary. It was pretty formidable. They annexed Bosnia and Herzegovina, and that was like a huge domino. So going back to this idea of like dominoes in history and then, you know, having this ripple effect, them taking Bosnia and Herzegovina was a big situation because this area of the world has a lot of strong ethnic identities. And anytime you have, that's pretty nice. Anytime you have a foreign power who is coming in and you have people there who have strong identities, you're going to encounter big resistance. And again, this was in 1908. We have 2 more packs here. So the thing is, additionally, you have Slavic people. So you have Slavic people who live in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and then you also have some Slavic people who live in Russia. And so what that meant is that Russia feels like, oh, we need to defend the Slavs because we have some of those too. And it just made the tensions even more difficult. Now, I skipped ahead a little bit. So Morocco, again, was in the picture a second time, and this just continued to increase the relationship between the British and the French. Because again, Germany was getting involved in other people's business. So then we also have more Africa happening because you have Libya, and Italy had FOMO. They were trying to get into that scramble for Africa situation that they did not get involved in. And they were like, hey, Libya is pretty close. Plus, it's controlled by the Ottomans, and they're kind of having some problems anyway. So let's go ahead and try to take, oh, that looks like something good. Let's go ahead and try to take that. So then they did. And it resulted in the Italo-Turkish War. And it ended in a peace treaty, but the thing is that the Ottomans did not turn out too good at the end of this bargain. I got this again. Okay. It's nice. Did not do too well at the end of this because they were losing yet another territory. They kept losing territory. Okay. So we got some okay things here, I think. Also, I have a couple of extra things while we finish. I have this that I found out at Family Dollar. So let's go ahead and open this one as well. It's not going to have Searching Sparks, obviously. It's going to be Pokemon Go. And I haven't opened up any of the Pokemon Go's. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so in the meantime, we have all these dominoes lining up. We have then the Balkan War, and then there's the second Balkan War. And the first one was Serbia, Greece, and Montenegro against the Ottomans, and then the Ottomans lost. And then there was the second one. That's fun. There was the second one, the second Balkan War, which was the Bulgarians versus the Greeks versus the Serbs. 2023. Well, it's way past 2023. 2 packs? 2 packs. Okay. So then in the second one, like I said, it was Bulgarians versus the Greeks and the Serbs regarding Macedonia. And the Ottomans and Romania jumped in to fight the Bulgarians as well. So you just have like these constant, honestly, kind of bickerings happen. And then after that, we have Serbia and Austria-Hungary, who are basically like mean mugging each other this whole time. And then Austria-Hungary and Germany talked to each other and decided that they would need to fight Serbia to strengthen their empire. So the point of all of this is that tensions are growing this entire time. You have, oh yeah, I forgot they have these weird 3 things. Okay, that's cool. I like how it has the Pokestop on it. So you have these, all these things happening, and by themselves, no big deal, whatever. But over decades of these conflicts and people arguing about which land is theirs and which land is mine, and also taking into consideration these ethnic conflicts too, and ethnic identities of, you know, I want people who are not from here to stop controlling me, which is a very fair thing to say. Here we go. You have what ends up being World War I, because everybody's involved in everybody else's business, and it's all about puffing up your chest and peacocking and trying to have a say here. So the point of all of this is just to say that history does not happen in a vacuum. You have these moments in time that seem like, oh, you know, it's nothing big, or it makes you question even, okay, well, what does this actually mean? Like, what is actually going on here? And the thing is that in history, these events oftentimes do not just spontaneously happen on their own. It's a result of many different dominoes that have been lined up over time, and then it results into something completely off the rails. So that is the World War I powder keg in a nutshell, as well as the Surging Sparks ETB from the Pokemon Center. I pre-ordered that a long time ago. And the Pokemon Go tin. So I hope that gives you some historical context as to why the heck World War I happened. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to have, if you have any requests, I should say, for what you'd like to learn about, please put it in the comments below. And otherwise, let's see what happens next.